Good evening, everyone. We are the Gratitude Girls.
The Gratitude Girls are in the house. Hello, Lori.
Hello, how are you?
I am wonderful. How nice to be here tonight.
Yes, very nice and on time and everything. Technology
Oh
works.
gosh, we've got this. Before we get into our story, I just want to give a little piece of information. The guest that we have on tonight booked us 6.5 months ago. Talk about organized. We'll get into introducing this amazing guest in the next few minutes. Lori, every time we come live, the fourth Tuesday of every month, my mind plays the day that we met over and over again. I remember sitting in my seat. I remember standing up. I remember walking to the stage. And I think about it, and it gives me such pleasure to be able to relive this moment. I thought, why don't we reenact that moment for our guest and our new audience members tonight and share a little bit about like, who we are, where we are geographically, and why are we here doing this Gratitude Girls thing, and what gives us that pleasure to do it. So if you're okay with that, I'll start off by saying my name is Kathryn Asaro Myers, affectionately known as Rara's in the house. I'm broadcasting to you live tonight from Niagara-on-the-Lake, Ontario, Canada, and I'm here with my awesome partner, Laurie.
Yes, and I am Laurie Delk Radecki. I'm in a tiny little town outside of Nashville, Tennessee.
Laurie, let's talk about, you do it so well. Let's talk about the day that we met. I mean, everybody wants to hear a story, and everyone wants to know, what's your story and what happened? And we have, if it makes sense, like a girl man's. I don't know what you call it. You tell the story. You tell it so well.
All right, so yes, Kathryn and I actually met on stage in front of thousands of people. So we are both in a direct sales company, and each year our company has a theme, and then at our international convention they have an award for that theme. So 2013 was gratitude. So each year all the customers and distributors vote for this person. Also, it's not the corporate that votes for it. But anyway, so 2013, our CEO gets up on stage and he starts talking about all the wonderful accolades and attributes of the person. And he'll be very like discreet at the beginning, like he'll give hints, but you got to figure out who it is. And then pretty soon he'll start saying like he or she or whatever. And so then he started saying she, and then he'll throw in from Canada. And so then pretty soon he gets up to Kathryn Asaro Myers. And so Kathryn goes up on stage. I'm the techie person, so I'm way in the back and I'm doing the pictures and the video and all that stuff and ready so I can send cards to her afterwards. But anyway, and so then that year, for the very first time ever, and the only time since, they said, our CEO said, but this year there's a tie. And so I'm going to start telling you about the second person. So then he goes into talking about that person, the same thing, being very discreet at the beginning. And I'm trying to think, who is it? Who is it? Who is it? I figured out it had been someone that had been there for a long time. So then I'm like, okay, it could only be like this person, or this person. Well, it was none of those. He ended up calling my name. So I'm like, throw all my stuff down, rush up on stage. And so Kathryn and I are actually cross-lined to each other in the company, meaning that we're on separate teams. Neither one of us financially gets anything from either one of each other. But yet we just like, it's like one of those things, like love at first sight that they say, but this was like best friends slash business partners slash everything. Gratitude Girls was born literally in like 2 minutes. We knew that we were going to do something with it. We didn't know at the time yet what, but we knew that something big, there's coincidences don't happen. There's a reason and a purpose for everything. And so we met on stage, we started our relationship, and then it just went and evolved into, we've been doing these for over 8 years now, and we've also launched a coaching company. We're launching our book and several other things in store.
We do have so many things in store. I remember, Laurie, when Cody Bateman called me up on stage, I was like, this was part of my I am statements. And then when I heard your name, I remember thinking I really wanted to meet you because Laurie had been recognized, to our audience who doesn't know this, for the person who had given the most gifts in our company. And I remember thinking, what would it be like to receive a gift from Laurie? Well, let me tell you, 5 minutes after I met her, excuse me, she gave me a gift. Like, I'm reenacting the moment. I'm really there. I'm not here. Laurie hands me a gift. And of course, true to exactly who she is, we met on stage and I was really taken by the fact that I was standing next to Laurie Delk. And I remember we walked down the stairs and we put our hands out and we walked off the stage together, and we were together for the rest of the weekend. So we had the VIP treatment. We were able to talk about gratitude, and we just knew that was it at that moment, that something big was going to happen. So we are now in our 9th year, which is awesome. We did not know what we were going to plan. And for 7 years as a community service, we hosted Gratitude Girls, and it still is a community service. And it wasn't until last December that we decided to open our coaching business together. And we thought, let's do something. So we created a whole business plan, of course. And those are the things that you will see us launching out and releasing. At the same time, we have amazing opportunities to meet people who want to share their gratitude with us. And we are so lucky that we're here tonight. I would like to say, first of all, Laurie, thank you so much for reenacting that moment. I love reliving it. And I'd like to talk a little bit about our guest tonight, Olivia Crane. I'll read you something about Olivia, and then I'll tell you some maybe best kept secrets. Olivia has a background, or she had a background. She came from corporate sales and marketing. Olivia left the 9-to-5 world in 2017 to pursue entrepreneurial passions, discovering the possibilities through her network marketing side hustle. She built her own brand and success online. Now, thriving with attitude and gratitude, Olivia supports small business owners in their own sales and marketing journey through social media learning and support. Olivia's mission is to support women in business with helpful tools and resources to amplify their message online. Olivia Crane is a woman who has booked being on our show 6.5 months in advance. And when you talk about somebody who's organized, Laurie, she is exactly one of us. Olivia Crane, welcome to the Gratitude Girls show.
I am so happy to be here. Thank you so much. And thank you both for sharing your amazing story. Just like I could almost feel what you felt, like your connection. And when you were saying, and like the snap of opportunity, you can just feel it in the story. It's amazing.
Thank you. Yes, we really do love to reenact that, and sharing it with you makes it now part of the three of us.
Mm-hmm.
Olivia, can you talk to us a little bit about your mission and your mission about helping women? How did you come about to develop that?
Well, I think it would go back really, like it really aligns well with how I even transitioned to where I am now. And so I'll start back when I was working my 9-to-5 job in corporate sales. When I graduated university, I worked for 2 Fortune 500 companies. I never ever wanted to be an entrepreneur. I never did. I never had anybody in my family that owned a business. I didn't really know anybody that owned a business. A lot of people who become entrepreneurs say, oh, my father owned a shop, my mother did this or did that online. Whole lot of stories. I never had that. It was never in the cards for me. I even would say I didn't want to own my own business. I always thought that I would work my way up the corporate ladder. So of course, when I graduated school, I went into sales and marketing in hopes to kind of work my way up and just be, you know, in the corporate world and living that kind of dream. In 2016, I was introduced to an opportunity in network marketing. And I was, but you both being in network marketing can completely understand every little nuance and every little thing that goes along with it. And a lot of people take some time to decide if it is a business that they want to be a part of. It could take, you know, weeks, months, even years for some people to jump on board. And I didn't. Somebody called me on a Thursday and I signed up on a Friday morning and I was like, yeah, sure. Like literally like, yeah, it sounds like a great opportunity. Didn't really think twice about it. Little did I know that would completely change my entire life. I went for the first year of that opportunity. I kind of sat back and I watched. And I saw so much. I saw well, it was a global business. So I saw so many people being connected online. I saw women, I mean, the company is 99.9% women, living out their dreams. Their husbands were, you know, quitting their jobs to be a part of their lives more and be able to stay at home. And they were traveling and working from wherever they wanted to work. And you know, they were really living this life that I actually hadn't even seen before. And I think social media really helps to amplify that as well. And of course, there's a side of it that, you know, we understand that social media is not real, but there's another side of it that it really does open your eyes up to opportunity, because if you don't see it, then it's very hard to envision or even dream of, right? So I saw all these things happening and all these women, and I was speaking to these women. And I think like in a corporate world, it's very easy to like look at a CEO or look at people who, you know, are successful and think, oh, like, you know, you would never speak to them. You would never talk to them. But these people who are so successful in the company, I was speaking with them one-on-one. I was talking to them like I was talking to you, and it brought it on such like a level playing field. And I think it just gave me such a sense of like, this is possible for literally anybody. Like it's so possible. So, like I said, I sat back for about a year and then I went on a vacation. Actually, one day I went on a cruise to see Tim McGraw. And yeah, and on my way back home, I remember sitting in the seat of the plane on my way home and thinking like, I want more of this. I want more of this freedom. I don't want 2 weeks holidays anymore. And that's it. You know, I wanted more for myself and for my life. And I was, well, I'm young now, but I was even younger at the time. And I thought like, you know, here we go. Like I can really create anything out of this. And so I worked my little booty off for you know, to achieve all the levels in network marketing, and went up the ranks, made some great money, made some great friends, got recognized on all the levels, top 2%, that kind of story. And I left my job, and I left it way too early. So I'll say that. So it's like pump the brakes on the story. I left my job way too early. And I put myself in a position that I don't think anybody would want to be in, but it all worked out. And people saw me really just chasing my dreams and doing things that were totally outside my comfort level. And when I had left my job, it was August of 2017. Not only was I leaving a job, but I was also leaving a serious relationship at the time as well. And so it was a massive, massive life change for me. I guess it was my quarter life crisis. We want to be totally real about it. And I came, but even in that time of crisis and in the time where I felt like so stressed out and relationships were really falling apart and kind of crumbling like in front of my eyes. And my friendships with my girlfriends were changing, and my relationship with my relatives were changing. And there was just so much going on. I was going through a breakup. I still had women write me, and I still have them write me to this day and say, I remember when you went through that, or I think you're going through something similar to what I'm going through. Do you have any advice?
They were relating to you. You were very
Mhm.
relatable.
Yes. And even though part of my life was so private, I think people really sensed it and really felt it. And I really got a chance to portray the confidence that I knew that I was going to get to online. Like, even if I didn't feel that way, I was like, I knew what was going to eventually happen to me, even though it wasn't happening at the time. And so I really felt like network marketing gave me such an opportunity because it opened my eyes to the possibilities. And then I was like, if I can embody this for other people, then that's going to help them feel the way that I do now, with a sense of freedom and a sense of owning their power and not feeling stuck and not feeling like they had to settle and not feeling that they had to settle in a job or a relationship or anything that it was. And people saw it. So no matter, I did not say it plain as day, but people saw that. They saw
And
it.
that this is how you developed your mission to
Yes.
helping women. So thank you for sharing that, Olivia. Let me ask you this. Do you have something you want to tell the world that you're really happy about?
And so as the years went on, I recently got engaged. Yay. Thank you so much. I feel I have my ring is being resized right now. So so I'm like not staring at it 24/7. Yes, I just recently got engaged to my boyfriend in the US. So I'm Canadian and he's in the US. So I'm here in North Carolina tonight and just loving the warm weather and absolutely loving being here, like beyond. So
Congratulations to
thank
you.
you.
This isn't on the subject of your business. This is about, gratitude. And I know that you have a story, but would you like to share a few minutes of your love story with us? Because I know that you posted some pictures on social media, and I think it would inspire different people, men and women, who are wondering, is it possible? Can this happen to me?
Oh, well, thank you for the opportunity to share that part of it too. It's been so exciting. So my fiance and I met at a wedding at a mutual friend. So a girl that I grew up with, and I'm from a small town in Newfoundland, Canada, like small town, like 7,000 people. I grew up with this girl. She met her husband through our friend through school. Anyway, long story short there. And my fiance stood at their wedding on his side, and I was there as a guest on her side. And I remember her coming down and dragging me up to where she was, to the sweetheart table where her and her husband were sitting. And she was like, "This is Chris." And we reached across the sweetheart table and shook hands. And the photographer actually snapped a picture of it a couple weeks later. Yeah, she got the pictures back. She's like, and she sends it to me. She's like, "Oh my God, look, there's a picture of you two meeting." So there's a literal snap of us meeting, which I think is like the coolest thing. We have been in a distance relationship ever since. I think we took it on thinking it was going to be a lot easier than it was. Distance is really hard. If anybody is in a distance relationship, I feel you. It really tears at the heartstrings, but it's always so amazing when you reunite, and it always feels like you're in that like new stage every time you get back together. We saw each other like every month for the first 6 months, and then COVID hit. So that was a really hard time for us. I tried to get into the US and during COVID, and I wasn't able to go. And he and I looked at each other on FaceTime one night, and during right in the midst of the beginning of it, say April of last year, and we both looked at each other and we're like, "Look, no hard feelings. Like I understand how tough this is. We're in two different countries, separated by thousands of miles, let alone the borders being closed, let alone nobody knows what's going on with COVID. We had no idea when the next time we were going to see each other, and we said no hard feelings." And neither one of us had any intention of leaving, but we wanted that open space for each other. And nope, we stuck it through, and we were able to see each other 3 times during the pandemic while it was still very much real, and we were able to pull some strings and make it happen. And then we went 5 months without seeing each other. And I was able to book a trip to come down here to finally see him again and spend a little bit longer time. And we went to the Bahamas, and he got down on one knee and he said, "Will you live with me?" No, he said, "Will you marry me?" But that's basically what it means, right? Country to country. So yeah, it's been amazing. We've been through such hard times together. I feel like already, just different life things coming up, and we were able to really conquer a lot, I think, together. And there was never ever any waiver of our commitment to each other. And I think, the distance and the pandemic and everything has proved that so true. But I'm just so happy to be here.
Thank you for sharing that story. I mean, everyone would love nothing better than to hear a good love story with a beautiful, beautiful, happy beginning. Laurie, I know you must have a few questions for Olivia. I still have so many, but I will obviously turn the show over to you, Laurie.
Yes, so I do have a question, and obviously this is the Gratitude Girl show, so I'm going to ask you a question on gratitude. And I know obviously you just told that story, so you're very grateful for that. And I know you're also grateful for being able to leave the corporate life and live your own time freedom. But tell me, is there any other story, like in the back of your mind, like when you think about it, of something, another story you could share with us, that a time or a place or someone that you're grateful and thankful for, that that you want to share with us?
When we mentioned that you were going to ask me to share a story, I think the first thing that popped into my mind, honestly, was like just all the little mundane moments that are like, just give you this, something just hits you in this way. And it actually like literally just happened to me before I got on this call. I was walking out to get something out of the car. And when I walked outside, the warm air hit me. And I just thought to myself, I don't know if I'll ever get used to this, because every single time I open the door and the warm air hits me, I get this, I'm like, yay, I'm in warm weather, because I live somewhere really cold. And I just, even saying that to myself, being like, oh my gosh, like this is going to be my life, because we're moving to Florida, so that's going to be all lovely. And I'm like, this is happening. And then I was like, oh my God, that's so awesome. And I just thought to myself, like, wow, I've had such cool experiences with my fiance, and he's really given me like so much. He has given me the coolest experiences that I never thought that I would experience. He's like the coolest person. He just flew us to the Bahamas in a little plane and everything. Like, he's a pilot, so that was like super cool experience. He's such a good planner. He's such a good just experienced person. And I guess I just had this sense of gratitude, literally walking to the car to get laundry detergent that he left in there earlier. And I was like, oh my God, like, why did you leave that in the car? And I was like, I'm just so happy that I'm here. And then it's funny because I turned around, got it from the car, turned around, went to check the mail, and I opened the mail and I had a $1,200 check in there for me. And I'm like, that's because I just had that overwhelming sense of gratitude in those little mundane moments. So I know it's not like a big, huge story. Now I can go on another one. I can go on ones all day of like crazy universe stuff happening. And of course, Rara knows that as well, because we've known each other for a little over a year now, which is crazy. And she's seen it happen too. And I mean, it's been nuts. It's been crazy. So
I've watched amazing things happen with you and to you, Olivia, and I'm so glad that I have the opportunity to do that and stand beside you and be right in the thick of things.
In the thick of things. I love that you just said that, because I'm like, it's thick. It is thick.
right in the middle. Right in the middle. I'm wondering if you could shed a little bit of light on the subject of social media. Can we touch on that a little bit? Can we talk about, you are a social media expert. You talk to people about, well, you said something before, you said social media is not real. So let's talk a little bit about what people do, how they look at it, and maybe you can give us a bit of a synopsis without me asking you questions of, what relationship do you see social media playing in the day-to-day life of an entrepreneur? Let's start with that.
Okay, I love that question. And I talk social media so often, even more this year. I've had the absolutely incredible opportunity to do a lot of presentations this year. And social media is, even though it's been around a while now, man, it is a hot topic. It is still an extremely hot topic. And I focus actually specifically on Instagram. And I know a lot of people really want to be able to grow their business on Instagram, which is amazing because I think Instagram is such a great place for connection and to build relationships with people. It just the way the app is laid out. And I actually, not to get into like too much of a technical sense, but I'm really not speaking about like, oh, social media is such a great place to connect with people. I don't really mean it that way. I literally mean the features that the app has, the technology that it has is actually really meant to build connection and build relationships. The story element is huge. The polls, questions, quizzes, those little tools like that on Instagram stories, fantastic ways to build trust and likability with your followers and your audience and interact with other people as well. You know, the DMs, as we call it, great place to really connect. You'll often find that people are so much more willing to connect with you on a platform like Instagram in the DMs than they may be through text message sometimes or other like messaging services. I feel like it's so much more of a comfortable space. I think it makes people feel comfortable. The sharing element, like there's just so many like actual features on Instagram that are good for that. In terms of day-to-day kind of like helping business owners and why, I think your question like why we should like focus on social media. Really, it doesn't have to be this big, to me, this big like professional laid out thing, especially like if you're a personal brand. A lot of people come to me and they ask for social media management, and really what they're asking for is activity. They're just asking for activity because it's hard to be active on social media. And a lot of people can probably relate to this. Like, you know, it's important. You know, there's opportunity on there. You know, there's opportunity to make money on there, but you feel like you have to be an expert to do it. And it's really not true. Of course, there's different ways that we can go about things in a better way than you might be doing them. But really, social media is about being active, making those connections. And I'll actually tell you a little story that maybe will help some people. And I actually had it written down, and I didn't really mean to tell this story in this way. But my mom, who had never had a Facebook account, never had an Instagram account before, I adopted a dog 2 years ago. So I'll have him 2 years in June. He's 11-year-old Chihuahua. He's a little devil. And she, one day during the pandemic, started an Instagram page for him. She was like, you know, she loved taking pictures of him. And she's like, I'm going to start an Instagram page. She has grown that Instagram page for that dog in 1 year to 6,000 followers. That's impressive. That's impressive. I mean, a little Chihuahua in Newfoundland. She's now to the point where she's making dog clothes because she sews and she knits. She's always done that. And she literally makes small dog clothes, like clothes for Chihuahuas and other small dogs. She shipped to as far as Germany. Like she lived from Newfoundland to Germany, to California, other places in the US, other places in Europe. It's crazy what she has built. And it's all because it doesn't matter about the quality of her photos. It doesn't matter about the filters. The quality is not even that good half the time. She posts every single day a picture of that dog, every single day. She comments on everything she possibly can. She follows new people. She's replying to everybody's story all the time, not because she's trying to grow a dog clothing business or because she's trying to grow my dog's account, because she wanted to, because she wanted to post, she wanted to like build connections with people. And I think if you really take it to that place and say, I want to meet new people, I want to show people who I am and what I do, that is going to repay you in growth. And it can be global growth. It does not stop, as we know, from where we are. It really could be absolutely anywhere, especially if people have a similar interest to you. So for us, for my mom, I say us, it's not me at all. I literally have absolutely no part in that. I lost my train of thought, but she didn't know anything about Instagram. She just started posting and she just started learning, and I think that was just the absolute best way that she could have went about it, and it really gives her such a great hobby. I've gotten business from it. Like, you just never know. Like, literally, I've gotten business from the dog's Instagram, social media business. So it's been crazy.
And that, you said a lot there. I mean, you said a lot in the to your mom and about your mom, that her desire to continue to do this on a daily basis because it's her personal interest. It's not a job. She doesn't have bells and alarms telling her what to do. I love that story. I think that's an awesome story. There is a part of our show in a few minutes we will pass the show over to you to give you an opportunity to ask us a couple of questions. But I would like to just ask you I really want to ask you, Olivia, so many questions, but I don't want to make it seem like, we're just going to sit here and ask Olivia questions. Because of the business that you have and the people that you speak to about social media, is there like some type of funny blooper story you can tell us that maybe we will come in contact with it with social media? Laurie and I have so many stories about going live and live streaming. Really every week we have a new one. So we could probably host an entire 3-day summit talking about it. So do you have anything funny that you want to share with us that we could maybe see in ourselves? If it happens, we'll say, yes, it happened to Olivia Crane too.
Oh my gosh. I honestly, bloopers, I can't really think of it. I always say to myself too that I don't go live that often, but it's never ever bothered me. A lot of people really are afraid to go live. If anybody's watching this and you're afraid to go live for a really quick reason. I remember the first time I ever went live, it was for a draw, and I was just drawing names out of a hat. And I said, I'll go live for this one thing. And anyway, it's never ever bothered me. So I don't think I've ever been embarrassed or nervous or anything for a live. But I don't know, one thing that does come to my mind is when I'm recording a story, so an Instagram story, and I often come on my story and I talk, I hold the phone up and I speak to my followers, and I might be telling them a story, or I might be telling them about a new service, or I might be giving them tips or whatever it is. A lot of times, I rewatch it and it sounds polished. I'm it's to the point. People have told me I love your stories because you just cut straight to the point. It's there. It's really easy to watch. I've probably spent 45 minutes to an hour recording that 20 or 30 times. So it seems it's totally off the cuff and I'm just but really I've probably sat down there for at least 45 minutes, exiting out of it and then re-recording it again and again and again until it sounds perfect. So perfect enough to post on the story.
And you do such a good job at it. And you're right, you do look very natural. So that's what you've done. You've perfected how to look natural.
Yeah. And sometimes I get totally tongue twisted. And I do have lots of bloopers actually in videos, because I used to record videos more, I want to say more professionally. It wasn't professionally, but lots of different tutorials, and when I do trainings and stuff, and rewatching those are just hilarious, because I literally could be saying anything. If I screw up a line, I'll be and then go back into whatever I'm saying, and I keep such a straight face. So you're watching the recording and I'm hi everyone, I'm Olivia. Okay, hi everyone, I'm just such a straight. So anyway, yeah, video bloopers are funny. I actually have blooper videos up on my YouTube channel that I don't do anymore, but
okay, well we can go and follow you, because I bet even when you do have a moment that some people might get nervous, what you're saying is you sail through it pretty easily.
Yes.
Right. And
Yeah.
eloquently, which is a really good tip, to go with it as if the audience doesn't know what we were going to say. It could look like a part of what you were delivering.
Exactly. Well, actually, these were more recorded, so I could cut it
Oh,
out.
right,
But
right.
you're absolutely right. You could just keep going. It's like
Especially if
playing
it's
a
live.
piano and making a mistake. Nobody knows that it's a mistake.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Especially if it's proprietary.
Yes.
Well, Olivia, I don't know if this is a good moment for you, but you tell me if you are okay with it. We would love to pass the show over to you for a few minutes where you can ask Laurie and I. Let us know who you want to answer first. Give us any question that you'd like. If you're interested, please take this opportunity to host the Gratitude Girls with
Perfect.
us.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Gratitude Girls. I'm your host tonight, Olivia Crane, social media expert and Chihuahua owner. And I am joined tonight by two fabulous ladies, Laurie and Kathryn. What is it you say? Affectionately known as Rara. And I would like to ask them both about opportunity, because you really caught my attention earlier, Laurie, when you were sharing that story. And it reminded me of when you both met on stage and you had this connection, and instead of saying oh my gosh, of course you said congratulations, you both got it, and this feeling of connection, and maybe you kept in touch or whatever it was, you had this actually connection of opportunity for what this is today, right? And it's I don't think everybody would have seen it that way. I think people would have been grateful as you were, and especially for what were winning and achieving, but you had this immediate idea. So maybe if you could share a little bit about the opportunity that you saw, and then has that happened again after that? Are you specifically, or you both just the type of people that, well, I kind of know a little bit more about Rara, I guess, because, but the kind of people that just everywhere you turn, there's a new opportunity or a new connection. And maybe you could share a little bit about that opportunity identification, if we want to say.
Okay, yeah. Well, I guess I'll go first. So I was very blessed to be raised by a mom who raised me wonderful. She was so wonderful, and one of the huge things that she taught me was nothing is coincidence. Like, people say that word all the time, but it's not coincidence. There's always a reason for everything. So I was raised that way, to look for things. Why did this happen? Why did, I mean, even so, great things as well as things to, worry you or whatever. I mean, just for an example, one time we used to travel a lot with me in my business. I've been self-employed since 1993. And so my kids, I homeschooled my kids. So my kids went with me everywhere I went. Everywhere I was going to speak on stage, the kids went with me. So when they were younger, we would go and say a long road trip. I had 4 kids. So, we didn't fly if we could help it.
Yeah.
So, and, but we were going off this exit, and, I had this feeling of something, don't exit this road. And, the kids were saying they had to go to the bathroom, right? And so we didn't exit that road. Now, I don't know if anything ever happened there or whatever, but we just didn't do it, and we all lived to tell about it. So, but it's those different things that just, things happen, and there's either a feeling or there's a situation, and you just follow your inner instincts, your Holy Spirit, your inner self, whatever you want to call it, and you go with it. And that's with Kathryn and I, when we met, I mean, one, there was that instant kind of, charismatic feeling, attraction there of, friends, and we knew it'd be a friendship. We didn't really know if it'd be a business partnership, but we knew there was a reason. and that was it. And so and because of me being my techie guru self, like I had my phone and I checked for, we decided, okay, we won a gratitude award. We're both girls, right? Gratitude girls, it goes together, right? Check GoDaddy, gratitudegirls.com. Yep, it's available, bought, done. And then we're like, okay, we'll figure it out the rest of the time. And, and then we had the week to spend together, and we've been pretty inseparable since, even though we're both in opposite countries.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's amazing. And just what you said too about like the coincidences and the gut feelings, like nothing is a coincidence, like everything happens, and whether it's, I guess, negative or positive as well, which is an amazing mindset to have, because not everybody has that mindset either. So thank you both for really, giving that me that positivity feelings tonight as well. Laura, did you want to share
Yes, I just wanted you
opportunity?
to repeat or reiterate the question so I can just zone in on it.
It was about opportunities and them identifying themselves to you, right, and how you, instead of turning away from them, you kind of go with it.
Right. Thank you. Yes, I remembered the question, but I just wanted to make sure that I would be succinct in answering it. That was a distinct moment in my life that I will never forget. When I met my husband, that was a distinct moment in my life that I will never forget. There are moments in my life that have changed me. They all stand alone. Meeting Laurie was one of those moments that I knew if we didn't both feel that, we both would not have been there at the same time. There was no push and pull. We both felt what we felt. And when that does happen, if we're lucky enough to feel that once, twice, and we're lucky enough to trust, in ourselves, we trust that we are in the right place doing the right thing. We do not have to think about the details, figuring it out, when, what, who, what, why, how much, none of that. It happened when Laurie and I met on stage, and it happened when I bumped into my husband in Club Med Eleuthera over a hummingbird. There was really no thought that, oh my God, is this the right thing? Is this, or oh my goodness, excuse me, is this the right thing or wrong thing? It felt that was where I should be. Mm-hmm. So it happens. Some people experience this more than others because we trust. No matter how, like Laurie talked about, not wanting to get off at the exit, she trusted herself that there was a reason she shouldn't get off at that exit. Having to go to the bathroom was not stronger than her belief, because she knew that there were alternatives, but her belief told her not to go there. My belief told me when I saw Laurie on stage that was a divine intervention, that was planned, that was supposed to be, that there was no accident, and that script was written for us. And we have leaned into that, locked arms, held hands, laughed and cried together since day one.
I love that. Oh, you guys are awesome. You
ladies are awesome. Thank you for asking that question. It really is important for us all to trust. And when we come on the show and we have people that we care about, sometimes there are people we don't know very well, but we care about them too, right? We develop that. We really know that there's a sense, there's a vibration that we all have. And our audience will feel that tonight. They'll feel that from all of us. And this is what really keeps us going, Olivia, really keeps us interested. When you book to be on our show over 6 months in advance, that sort of lifts us up like you couldn't imagine. And Laurie and I are so trusting. I mean, this is sort of an inside backstory. We do not have a lot of processes. It's like, you're on the show, cool, see you then. 6 months later, we take everybody exactly at their word. We do not have 47 reminders twice a month it's like, see you.
We're hanging out on this date.
That's it. We asked, you said yes. You asked, we said yes. See you then. And most people don't run a business aspect or a production like we do. We
That's
are
actually
all
so true.
correct.
Mhm.
We are all about, okay, awesome guest. Let's get it done. There is no back and forth. We don't have any sense of a worry. We understand life. We understand what happens. We understand yeses. We understand nos. We definitely don't listen to maybes. I said that as a network marketing tip. So we go ahead and we go through our life as gratitude girls with the belief that everything is the way it's supposed to be. And it's a lot more fun like that for us.
Mm.
We
Mm.
really enjoy that. Yeah, great question. Olivia Crane, if someone wants to follow you, where do you want them to follow you?
Well, if you're interested in social media tips, which I give lots of those for free on my Instagram account, you can follow my business account, which is at Amplified Social. So easy, should be able to find me no problem. And then I also post to my personal account as well. It's definitely not businessy, it's more for fun. And that you can find me at Olivia Crane 28 on there.
How can we find your doggy's account?
And you can follow my dog, who's a lot more famous than me. Well, both my cat, it's all linked in my bio as well. So my dog's name is Marley, but his Instagram name is Moosey Chi, Moosiechi. And that's a funny little nickname that my mom came up with for him. She used to call him Moosey. And she gave him that name on Instagram. And I think it's so funny now because a lot of people think that that's his name, but when they pronounce it, they always say it wrong. So like I've heard so many like different variations of like, I guess people see that word and because it's not a real word, they're attributing their own take on it. And so I've heard so much. I've heard it said in like almost as if it was a different language. My favorite is Musechi, almost like it's Italian or something, Musechi. So you can follow Musechi on Instagram.
Oh, no, I don't think we have that link posted on. Maybe you can find a way to post that link on Gratitude Girls in comments, or Laurie, maybe we can do that. I think that would be really fun to have Marley's link with
Yeah, it will be.
with your bio.
He's more
Right?
active than all of us, I'm sure.
Okay.
So
Well, I would like to follow him, so
Good.
we'll all do that. And is there any message that you would like to give to our audience before we go into the closing of our show tonight? Is there something that just popped up that you would like to say to someone or to our audience? It's up to you, whoever it comes to your mind.
Nothing specific. Actually, what you had said earlier about just trusting, and I like that you kind of went into that, has been a really big theme in my life lately. So if anybody else maybe is probably feeling that way as well, we all kind of start to feel things at the same time. Just trusting that it will either work out, or actually, I really like what you said, which is you trust that this is the way it's supposed to be. And I think that really stuck with me because it's not so much trusting that it will work out, you're just trusting the present moment. So, which is even more powerful, I think. That's really cool. So just to reiterate that, yeah.
Thank you. My friend Carolyn Jackson and I talk about this all the time. It is the way it's supposed to be. So I'd like to mention her in this moment because this is something that she always talks about. Well, thank you. Thank you, Olivia Crane, the new Mrs. soon to be Mrs.
Pinot.
Okay, Mrs.
Yeah.
Pinot.
Pinot, yeah.
I'm so happy for you. We are so happy for you that we don't see your ring right now, but we'll go on your Instagram and we'll see it. I've seen it.
Oh, there's lots of pictures. Don't you worry.
It is gorgeous. It is gorgeous.
It is gorgeous.
Congratulations to you and your fiance, Chris.
Thank
you
you.
are both so lucky and we're so happy for you. And again, thank you so much for being on our show tonight. You are a dear, dear person in my heart, and we're so thrilled that you are making history with us here tonight.
Thank you so much to both of you. This was so fun, so fun. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Hang out with us a little bit longer. Laurie, let's talk a little bit about what happens if someone's watching the show tonight and they're thinking, I want to be Olivia Crane sporting a beautiful ring, having a fiance who's a pilot, or I want to have a spot on the show. What do we tell our future guests? How can they do that?
Yeah, so absolutely. So go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/gratitude girls. Right there, you can hit message, send us your gratitude story, and give us your contact information. We will get back with you with our calendar. We are now booking like the middle of 2022. So it will be a while. And yes, like Kathryn said, we don't follow up. Like, we schedule you, we expect you to be here unless something happens. And then of course you get in touch with us and let us know that you're not going to be there. But yes, but share with us your story. Also, if you want to see our other amazing stories, facebook.com/gratitude girls, or you can also go to our website at gratitudegirls.com. You can search the blog there to look for anybody, search for keywords there, watch all. We have 8.5 years of gratitude stories. So yes, we have one to fit any person, size, shape, form, whatever.
I think it's amazing, Laurie. I love that we don't follow up and we're booking a year in advance. It really is amazing. Who would have thunk? Who would have thought that this is what that would have turned into from when we first met? It's amazing. It's a lot of fun to be here. I love the fourth Tuesday of every month. And Laurie, being able to go from house to house, city to city with you, country to country, going through our adventures. I mean, we have lived in so many homes. We have broadcasted together in the same place in different countries, while on vacation, while in the car. Like, we've done so many things. And when we first got together, I want to share with our audience, we said we will travel the world together and produce this show, and we have traveled together and traveled separately and produced this show, and we knew that that's what we were destined to do. So we are going to keep traveling and keep producing, keep meeting guests from all over the world. This has been a lot of fun. Like you said, Olivia, thank you so much. You're an amazing guest. And Laurie, thank you so much for all that you do, not only on the techie side, for how you hold up the fort for us. Thank you. I appreciate you, and I love you for being my partner.
I love you. And thank you, everyone. See you next time.
Have a good night.